When the clock struck 12 on January 1st, 2000, a new century had started. A time of drastic change in culture and politics was brought upon the world. The country moved from the good decade into a new digital decade of the internet. But what defined the decades? Was it a trend or moment, a person, or a big movement? To show you what it was like, we present to you a home no different than one today, except the year's 2060, and a boy is studying for his history test.
Wait, so George Washington, that's not even in this chapter. George Bush, that makes sense, okay.
Honey, are you okay?
Mom, I'm fine.
You've been in bed all day.
Okay, I've been in bed because I'm trying to study for this APUSH test, and it makes me want to fall asleep.
It can't be that boring. What is it on?
The 21st century.
Okay, that's a little before my time, but your grandparents love the 2000s.
Okay, because they're like 5 billion years old.
That's not that old. They're not that old, I promise. I mean, I can give them a holo if you want them to come talk to you. Maybe it'll be more interesting.
I mean, I don't, but it can maybe help me a little bit, so just do it.
Alright, I will.
Shh, don't wake him up, Harold.
Sonny!
Grandpa! Oh my god. Oh my god.
Hey, son, how you doing?
Oh, I see. Playing favorites now, are we?
You know, she doesn't try to scare me. Yeah, so I fell asleep trying to study for APUSH. You know, it's almost as boring as Mr. Dion's economics class.
Tell me about it. Oh my gosh, or you know what? Your grandpa!
This is why I cheated on you back in... I forget.
Grandpa doesn't mean that. Grandpa, you just help me learn this.
Yeah, what do you want to know, kid? Alright, let's get this thing started.
Grandpa, is that the American pageant book?
Why, yes it is, Sonny.
You know I haven't opened that thing once this year?
Well?
Read the book every week. Yeah, okay, Mr. Gawkman, no thanks.
Well, now it's time for us to start reading.
No.
Wait, that guy's still alive?
Oh,
Alright.
dusty thing.
He must be like 170 or something by now.
He's probably your age.
Hey! Not quite.
Grandma, it's okay.
Alright,
So,
let me begin. The turn of the century began with a rocky start.
Just like a relationship!
The election of 2000. George Bush and Al Gore seemed to split the country right in half. Oh man, the Electoral College, it was a whole mess. It was so confusing that people like your grandma and I, we didn't know who our president was for weeks.
really?
Yeah.
Hello, my name is Elise Snow, and right now we are joined by the President of the United States, George Bush. We have a few questions to ask you, and we'd also like to say a big happy birthday, July 6, 1946. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling pretty old, you know.
Alright, so you just won the election, and that was pretty controversial, as we know, but how do you think your family played a role in this election?
Well, as you all know, my father was president, and he raised me right. He got me into this political career, and he showed me the right path to do. And my wife, you know, most of us know that I struggled with alcoholism for a long time, and my wife, she helped get me over that, and I would say that's a huge influence in this election.
Excellent, excellent. Other than that, how do you think that your past has prepared you for this position as president?
Well, see, I mean, I served in the military. I was part of the Texas National Guard, and that really helped slacken me up and teach me what to do and whatnot. And going to Yale and Harvard, that really helped me with my education. I got my business degree at Harvard, and that helped me, I would say. And I've started my own business, so I would say that I'm really ready to lead this country like it's a company. And you see, I was governor of Texas as of late, so I know how politics work here.
Excellent. So you do have some experience in politics. So how would you say the election went between you and Al Gore? Because I know it was tough, and were you nervous? I know it was pretty tight, and, you know, Americans must feel a certain way about this election.
You know, I've lost an election before, and I would have to say I wasn't really nervous. I was like, I'm going to win or I'm going to lose. And I know it's all controversial and all because I won with less popular vote, but that's happened in presidents prior. So I would say the people are fine with it. They're used to this by now.
I mean, I think you're right, and congratulations to you on your presidency. It was an excellent election, and I'm glad everything worked out in your favor. Thank you for being on the show today. This was President Bush. My name is Elise Pinsino, and that is all for today.
Oh, all right, Grandpa, I get it. So Bush finally won the presidency. But how did the Americans feel about that? After all of that trouble with the election, did he end up actually doing anything?
Well, he was forced to. And although Bush won the majority of the electoral votes,
Bush lost the popular vote. So Americans technically preferred Al Gore.
But what do you mean he was forced to do something?
well, within the first months of his inauguration, the United States faced one of its worst days in recent history. I remember it as if it was yesterday. It was a little after 9 a.m. on a Tuesday, when I was watching the morning news.
And I remember I had just gotten to work and the kids were settling in their seats and a teacher came in to tell me.
This just in, you're looking at a very disturbing live shot of the World Trade Center this Tuesday morning, September the 11th. Thank you all for tuning in. My name is Elise Pinsino.
And I'm Madeline LaPierre, and right now we're getting some unconfirmed reports of a terrorist attack in the heart of New York City.
Around 8:45, American Airlines Flight 11 crashed into the North Tower. It was a supposed accident, but just 15 minutes later, United Airlines Flight 175 crashed into the South Tower. President Bush is now calling this an apparent terrorist attack.
We're also getting word that the Pentagon was just hit. We don't know much right now, but we're getting all the information we can. Let's take another look at the World Trade Center.
This isn't the first time the World Trade Center has been attacked. In 1993, Al-Qaeda conducted a bombing in the parking garage of the World Trade Center. But however, right now we're not sure who is responsible for this attack.
Wait, guys, so when the Twin Towers fell, what changed in everyday life?
Well, for one, airports became stricter. The process was way more grueling. Did you know you used to be able to walk into an airport without even getting your bags checked or going through a metal detector?
After 9/11, things changed quickly. The economy began to drop and we went into a recession.
But were there any other acts of terrorism or disaster that affected American life?
Sadly, well, after 9/11, things died down for a bit. When it came to terrorist attacks, however, by the second decade of the 21st century, terrorist acts moved from plane bombings, school shootings, and bombings on the ground. It was terrifying.
Wait, what do you mean bombings and school shootings? You mean people would come into school and try to hurt people? School, that's where you're supposed to be safe.
Harold, you're scaring him! Let's go eat the cookies I made.
I like that.
Hilda! He's fine. These things happened, and he needs to learn about them. Let me recap on as many acts of terrorism as I can.
We're coming to you live April 15th, 2013, where we just heard word that there has been a tragedy at the 117th annual Boston Marathon.
Some bombs went off at the end of the finish line, and we have confirmation that 2 are dead and hundreds are injured.
It is unknown who is responsible for this attack, but as soon as we know, we will let you know. Since 2000, there has been 188 shootings nationwide, and today we're here to report another one in Broward County, Florida, at Stoneman Douglas High School.
There's a confirmed 17 killed in this tragic incident.
This will be the third deadliest the nation has seen since 2000, right after Virginia Tech with 32 deaths, Sandy Hook with 27, and this Parkland shooting will come in with 17 dead.
In late 2001, the United States invaded Afghanistan under George W. Bush and demanded the Taliban to hand over Osama bin Laden. However, it wasn't so easy. In the early 2000s, there were significant barriers between the U.S. troops and Iraqi culture, so every encounter was a tragic misunderstanding. The Taliban refused to hand over bin Laden unless the U.S. could prove his involvement in the 9/11 attacks. By October 7, 2001, the U.S. joined forces with the U.K., and both parties managed to drive the Taliban out of power by December 17th. Most al-Qaeda and Taliban members fled to Pakistan or other regions close by. In response to these attacks, the United Nations Security Council established the International Security Assistance Force to oversee all military activity in the country. In 2003, NATO became involved as an alliance, having a portion of U.S. soldiers operating under them in Afghanistan and the rest under the U.S. directly. On May 2, 2011, American Navy SEALs assassinated Osama bin Laden in Pakistan, and by May of 2012, NATO established an exit strategy and withdrew their forces. As of May 2017, over 13,000 troops still remain in Afghanistan and have no immediate plan to withdraw. Thousands have been killed in the Afghan war to date, and the war in Afghanistan is known as the second longest for U.S. participation, with over 16 years. The Iraq War began in 2003 when combined forces from the US and UK invaded Iraq, defeating its military and paramilitary forces. Following the first invasion, American forces continued to occupy Iraq until 2007, when violence began to decline and US forces gradually decreased their involvement, until finally withdrawing from Iraq in 2011. The Iraq War has been the fifth longest US participation, with almost 9 years total.
Wait, that sounds terrible. People who lived in the 2000s had it so hard. You old people were suffering. It couldn't get any worse, right?
Yay! The Earth seemed to be attacking us too. Please tell me you've heard of Hurricane Katrina.
No.
Or at least Hurricane Tortilla.
Harold, you're testing me.
There were a lot of natural disasters.
Wait, isn't that what Mom calls your first ex-wife?
What ex-wife?
Nothing.
Also, you're using a lot of old people terms that I don't understand. This is why I like Grandma better.
Hey, favoritism again!
Since the start of the decade, there have been a total of 37 natural disasters in the U.S. This includes 12 hurricanes, 6 tornadoes, 4 wildfires, 8 floods, a blizzard or 2, and a mud flow. The biggest and most costly being Hurricane Katrina and Hurricane Harvey, which both totaled about $125 billion in damage. In 2005, Hurricane Katrina came in off the coast of New Orleans and made 80% of the city underwater. It killed at least 1,836 people with 125 miles per hour winds. This affected the southern U.S. in places like New Orleans, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, and Georgia. The other storm, Hurricane Harvey, occurred in August to September 2017, which came in as a Category 4 hurricane, had 82 fatalities, and affected the eastern and southern U.S. and states like Texas and Louisiana. Other natural disasters that rank some of the most costly include Hurricane Sandy, Hurricane Irma, Hurricane Maria, and yeah, that's it. This doesn't even account for all of the costs of all the other storms that don't cause billions of dollars of damage, most likely, but does not mean that they are not there. And this is Maddie in the middle of a storm.
Yikes. Did anything good actually happen in the 21st century?
Believe it or not, America actually did accomplish a lot. Especially when it came to technology. We were able to contact millions of people straight from our cell phones.
And that's how I met your grandpa. He slid into my DMs.
Wait, are you talking about the Twitters?
Well, Whippersnapper, let me tell you about social media.
Whippersnapper? Isn't that the thing Dad uses to clean the mirror?
Oh, no, son.
Oh, Sonny, you ignorant fool, let me tell you about something magical.
What is this brick? This is garbage. You guys use these?
Well, this was the introduction of modern culture. Here, watch this video. It features one of the most socially influential women of the early 2000s.
Who?
Kim K.
Oh.
What's up, YouTube? We're back with the newest video today. As you can tell by the title, we have a very special guest, and it was not clickbait. This is gonna be emotional. You better grab your tea because it's about to be spilled. We have the newest guest. She's all over the internet. Her name is Kim Kardashian. Special guest. Her name is Kim Kardashian, and we're gonna get a Q&A with her right before a big challenge. Hopefully this helps my ad. You know, ad revenue is really down lately, adpocalypse. So really just like, come on, get some views in here. Anyways, so with Kim, we're gonna start with a Q&A with your questions on Twitter. I asked you to use the hashtag AskKimK, and here is the first question. Get your tea ready, tea's gonna be spilled. While Kim takes some selfies, I'm gonna figure out some questions that you guys ask. So our first question comes from Hannah on Twitter, and she asks, Kim, what was your childhood like, and where did your career really start?
You know, I grew up in LA, and my parents divorced when I was really young, so it was definitely tough. But I would say that my career really launched when I was a stylist for Paris Hilton.
Well, this kind of leads us into our next question. This was asked by Jason B on Twitter, and he asks, what about your 2003 tape that was leaked in 2007? Do you have any comments on how that affected your career?
If you knew how I felt, why would you say that?
Kim, I'm sorry. Let's just go to different events in 2007.
Yeah.
So your reality TV show actually came out, Keeping Up with the Kardashians. Tell us a little bit about that.
So Keeping Up with the Kardashians is a reality show with me and my family, and a lot of crazy things go on. So if you want to see that, I definitely recommend watching it.
So the show actually follows around your parents, Chris and Caitlyn, your sisters, Chloe and Courtney, yes. I was gonna say Kylie, you know, a lot of people mess you guys up.
Darling.
And then Kylie and Kendall. So I would like to know just how it is with them. Like, do you think the fame is really spread out? Do you think that do you think that you're the most famous one? Do you think you're really influencing culture as much as them, or do you think you're influencing it more?
I think I'm influencing it more. You know, my net worth is higher than basically all of my family combined. I have a net worth of $175 million right now. You know, Time Magazine voted me in the top 100 most influential people. I have definitely the most followers on Instagram, hands down. You know, I have a perfume, a makeup line. Like, really, I'm just, I think I'm more successful than all of them.
Yeah, I actually can agree a little bit on that. I now want to ask you about Instagram, because you joined back in 2012, and right now, at the moment, you have about 111 million followers, according right now on this. So I just want to know, what is Instagram really doing for you? Are you gaining popularity through it? What's going on with it?
You know, I kind of think out with the old, in with the new. Like, commercials for TV, things like that, they're gone. So right now, advertising is all about social media, and I really get that from Instagram. It allows me to advertise, make money, and that's really where I am successful. You know, I have the body.
So Vlog Squad, this challenge is going to be all about social media and how it affected culture. Of course, you know me, big YouTuber, 500 million followers. I know a lot about it. Kim Kardashian right here, real famous, all on every platform. 111 million followers on Instagram. She knows a lot about social media, so let's see how this goes.
Alright, so the first one. What was the first form of quote-unquote social media?
You can go first.
I would guess MySpace.
Not necessarily. Here's a hint. It came out in 2001. It was developed by Microsoft, and it was the first form of instant messaging, giving Americans the ability to connect with millions of people, no matter how far away they were from each other.
AOL Messenger?
No, it's actually Windows Messenger.
What?
Oh my.
Yeah. Didn't even know that was
Learning
a thing.
new things with Kim Kardashian, not clickbait.
Alright, second one. What form of social media came out in 2002 and is currently used for businesses to hire employees?
You know,
I know this one.
I do too, I think.
I mean, you haven't worked a day in your life, so...
Well, of course, but I would have to say Instagram.
Do you have any
I
guesses?
was thinking LinkedIn.
Yes, that's right. LinkedIn is considered the #1 job site in the world and has over 500 million users, giving Americans more options for their occupation.
You wouldn't need to know that.
All right.
You know, ad revenue's going down lately, so I might be needing to use that soon.
Okay, next one. This is a social networking site that came out in 2003 for people to connect with friends and family, blog, and share other aspects of their lives.
That's easy. I mean, obviously Facebook.
I was gonna say that too.
It's actually MySpace, if you remember MySpace, yeah. Although Facebook is basically the same thing, it just came out a year later.
Okay.
So this is an American video site that came out in 2005 that allows viewers to watch videos made by the site's creators.
Linda, you're dumb for asking this one. All my Vlog Squad members and Kim Kardashian right here know this is YouTube.
Yes, that's correct. YouTube often replaced television for younger generations, and the creators influenced Americans to attempt crazy challenges like the Cinnamon Challenge.
Yes, Glozell
Yes.
Green actually made that one popular.
Alright, this is the last question. What entertainment company allows Americans to stream movies and TV shows and has replaced TV? Hint, it was developed in 2007.
Speaking of launching my career, isn't an adult film site?
Kim, I don't think it's that. Is it YouTube Red?
No, it's actually Netflix.
Netflix? Whoa. Kim Kardashian really did have such an effect on people and influence on their lives through social media.
She really did. She really did. God, why do you take the good ones?
She died?
2 months ago, son.
Oh. Well, that's depressing.
Okay. Her father was also very powerful. He was a lawyer. His name was Rob Kardashian. And he was O.J. Simpson's lawyer.
What in the heck? Who was O.J. Simpson?
He was a former NFL running back who was arrested and charged with murder of his ex-wife, Nicole Brown Simpson, and her friend, Ron Goldman.
Simpson was found not guilty for the murders of his ex-wife and Ronald Goldman. This revealed the huge gap between white and black Americans. Blacks were still mistreated even after many civil rights movements in the 1900s. They were especially mistreated in the 2000 elections when they were told that they were not allowed to vote in Florida. This showed that they were still facing the Jim Crow South of racial indifference. That's terrible. I can't imagine people being separated over such an insignificant thing, such as race or anything like that. Also, Grandpa, that technology is really old. Science was so far behind than what it is right now.
I suppose. But without the 2000s, we wouldn't be where we are now.
That's true.
So many scientific breakthroughs were made. The Human Genome Project, a project where science determined the sequence of nucleotides, it ended around 2003. People's lives began to last longer, and scientists were able to work on curing many diseases. Stem cell research allowed people to cure Alzheimer's and Parkinson's. The public looks towards alternate fuel sources in the 21st century, like electric hybrid cars and alternative fuels.
They were pretty rad.
Oh, these old people terms. But, Grandpa, that old people science is just crazy. But I'm really curious now, thinking about it. Were you really rich when you were younger?
Well, Bud, I wasn't too wealthy, but I had to have a strong will to work to support your grandpa's lazy work ethic.
Now looky here, boy. Times weren't always that easy to make bank. It was all thanks to that Bush administration spending our money by the bucketload to fuel their wars in Iraq and Afghanistan. They formed new laws such as No Child Left Behind Act that were unsuccessful because of the tax cuts and the reduced government budget. Thanks to their increased spending and lower budget, we had a stock market crash and then a recession in 2008. So, son, no, I was not wealthy. I had to work hard to keep my job and make money.
No, that was me.
Oh.
Oh, I was the one who was coming home at 4 in the morning from construction, but whatever.
So,
That was your
Times are-
excuse to cheat on me, Harold!
wait. Stop fighting. So times are really that hard?
Skirt! That's right. People were losing their jobs left and right. The entire economy was suffering.
Scientific research drove the economy up until the recession of 2008. A major problem was the gap between rich and poor during the 2000s. The rich were responsible for over half of the nation's wealth. Politicians were ready to work for the middle class.
Oh, okay, I get it. So people did fight for human rights. That makes sense a little bit, I guess, because that's how it is today. But did it increase more at this time than any other time?
There were many different activist movements going on in the early 2000s. Celebrities and public figures led the changes and urged people to follow among them. Without these people, things would not be the way they were today. One of the most popular activists for the LGBT rights was Ellen, despite there being only 2 genders, of course.
Harold, you're so ignorant!
I don't think there's 2 anymore.
It's 2060. Get with it, Harold.
Here's an old interview I came across.
And welcome back to Entertainment Tonight. So the last segment of our show is going to be about Ellen DeGeneres. So we'll move into this little throwback Thursday and we'll remember our favorite host, Ellen DeGeneres. Ellen DeGeneres has starred in the popular sitcom Ellen from 1994 to 1998. She has hosted her own TV show, Ellen DeGeneres, since 2003. In 1997, DeGeneres came out as a lesbian. The disclosure of her sexual orientation sparked intense interest by American culture. In DeGeneres' sitcom Ellen, the main character came out as a lesbian, and DeGeneres actually did it in real life on the Oprah Winfrey Show later on. So, as a talk show host, she continues to be a role model by all, reminding them to be kind and bring laughter and joy to all the people. In 2017, she was awarded the Medal of Freedom by Barack Obama. Ellen, we salute you.
Also, during this time of activism came the hashtag #MeToo movement, which was basically a bunch of women and men using the hashtag #MeToo as a way to bring out the fact that they were sexually assaulted or abused, mostly from their own personal experience.
Oh, okay. So did a lot of people participate in this movement?
Yes, actually. Within hours of Alyssa Miliano starting the initial hashtag #Me movement in a single tweet, it became a global hashtag #1 trend on Twitter and had over 55,000 replies from over 85 countries.
Whoa. So a lot of people really did start speaking up against all their experiences and really standing together as one.
Absolutely, they did. However, this movement turned into something much bigger when other activists and celebrities started.
They started some very prominent movements during the time that there was Black Lives Matter and the hashtag #MeToo and the women's equality movement. One very notable activist is Ellen DeGeneres. Actually, take a look at this old interview I found.
Since the turn of the century, activism has been a prominent topic of discussion. This can be seen through the struggle for LGBTQ rights, abortion rights, the hashtag #MeToo movement, the Black Lives Matter movement, and women's equality. In June 2013, President Obama overturned a key provision of the Defense of Marriage Act, thus forcing federal recognition of same-sex marriage, making this a huge milestone for gay rights. The abortion rights movement, often referred to as the pro-choice movement, advocates for legal access to abortion services. Although abortions are still not legal in all 50 states, abortion remains a highly controversial topic and in many cases raises the question of, is there really a separation between church and state, as most pro-life supporters draw from religious ideals. The Black Lives Matter movement is an international activist movement of the 21st century that originated in the African community. This movement campaigns against violence and systematic racism towards Black people. This also ties into the Blue Lives Matter movement, created as a counter-movement to Black Lives Matter, that advocated that those who are persecuted and convicted of killing law enforcement officers should be sentenced under hate crime statutes. The #MeToo movement was a movement that encouraged women to speak out against sexual harassment and assault with personal experiences. This movement became a global trend on Twitter and became active in 89 countries. This movement was started by Alyssa Milano, but since its creation, a multitude of different actors, actresses, athletes, and celebrities have participated and made this movement something much bigger than it originally intended.
And we're back here at CNN News. I'm Emily Britton, and I can guarantee that this is not fake news, people. We are here with two-time Olympic gold medalist Allie Raisman. How are you, Allie?
I'm doing great, Emily. How are you today?
I'm great. Thank you for joining us.
No, thank you so much. I'm truly humbled to be able to be here today and to be able to share my truth and my story with you guys.
Wonderful. Yeah, so I'm just going to ask you a few questions.
Of course.
So when did you start gymnastics?
I started gymnastics at the age of 2, and since then I've completely fallen in love with the sport. I am eternally grateful to be able to call myself a gold medalist and to be able to be a part of the Fierce 5 at the Olympics.
Yeah. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So we all know that you're successful on the floor. How have you used your power and your influence to make a positive impact?
Well, as many of you may know, I was molested by the USA Gymnastics Olympic doctor Larry Nassar starting at the age of 15. Since then, he has pleaded guilty to multiple charges of criminal sexual assault, and I was not only disgusted by his actions, but just completely overtaken by the amount of kids that he has hurt and the amount of lives he has completely scarred, and I'm just here to serve as an example for survivors.
That's amazing.
Thank you.
I'm so sorry that happened to you. How, I know this subject is a very touchy subject for a lot of people, but you've chosen to have it empower you, and why is it empowering for you?
This particular topic is empowering to me because it is my dream that one day everyone will know what the words Me Too signify. I want to share my story with others so they themselves can be educated and able to protect themselves from predators like Larry, and that they will never ever have to say the words Me Too again.
That's awesome. So you're part of the Me Too movement?
I am. I feel as though with my placement as an athlete, I can serve as an example for those who are struggling, those who have been affected, and that they can also feel the empowerment to come forward and say, Me Too.
Well, it sounds like you're doing amazing things, Allie. Thank you so
Thank
much
you.
for joining us. Allie Raisman, two-time Olympic gold medalist.
Thank you.
Part of the Me Too movement. So check it out on Twitter, #MeToo, right?
Yep.
Yep, and thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
All right, and we'll be back.
Wait, so that's really nice that America was changing, but now I'm really interested about the entertainment of the time. Was there a lot of fun things like Broadway musicals or TV shows and movies and music?
Oh, plenty. You know, there was like the musical Hamilton, one of your grandmother's favorites.
Oh, Lin-Manuel. Oh, he was a good man.
He died too?
Yes, and Whippersnapper. There were movies too that were influential. They showed past things in America's history that reflected on how our culture was today, such as 12 Years a Slave, pointed out the racism of our society. And well, there was Unbroken, a movie about a man from World War II and the abuse he dealt with by the Japanese, and it showed America's culture as it was. Yeah, and there were singers such as Eminem. They pointed out the faults in American society, and they gave us hope. It was a great time of change.
I've heard of something like that. My teacher was telling us about this really old video called This Is America by Childish Gazebo?
Yeah, gazebo.
Gazebo?
No,
Gazebo.
it's Gambino.
Grandpa's
It is
stupid.
gazebo.
Gazebo.
He's starting to lose it. The Alzheimer's.
You
Yeah.
uncultured swines.
Oh, so is there anything you could show me to help me out?
Why? Yes, there is.
Arts and entertainment in the 2000s was thriving on account of social media and new technology. Leonardo DiCaprio won his first Oscar, Britney Spears had her infamous meltdown, and Disney's Frozen became the highest-grossing animated movie of all time. These selections of the 2000s were full of record-breaking movies like the Harry Potter series, Avatar, Mean Girls, and Lord of the Rings. Creativity was a key part of this period. After 2010, movies and television shifted to an era of revivals, such as Fuller House, the Star Wars series, and Will and Grace. Movies such as Love, Simon and TV shows such as 13 Reasons Why and The Fosters all brought aspects that challenged social norms. Movies and TV shows, however, were not the only form of entertainment at the time. People around the world would find entertainment from social media. They were quoting lines like "road work ahead" and "I smell like beef." Arguments erupted over social media also, on whether someone heard Yanny or Laurel, and even over if the dress was black and blue or white and gold. People also found enjoyment with scrolling through hundreds of memes every day, from Arthur's Fist to Tide Pods. The decade can also be defined by its music and dancing. The 2000s brought us the Whip It Nay Nay, the Quan, Hitting the Folks, and of course the new and improved Running Man. Musicians such as Justin Bieber, Post Malone, and Drake became the center of the media, and people were interested in their lives and the music they created. Another part of everyday entertainment was fashion and art. As YouTube became a big part of society, people would turn to the content creators to learn the new makeup trends and ways to recreate them. Makeup artists such as James Charles and Manny Mua were known for this. Other than makeup, people artistically expressed themselves through their clothes. Von Dutch hats, tattoo chokers, denim everything, and Gucci outfits were used as an art form for fashion of the time. Good evening and welcome to Entertainment Tonight. We are back with an exclusive interview with Oprah Winfrey. She is on FaceTime right now. Oprah, can you hear me?
Yes, and Gail is here too.
Hello, Oprah. Hello, Gail. How are you both?
We are great. Entertainment Tonight is my favorite!
Glad to hear it. All right, so while I have you both on the phone, I just have a couple of questions about the modern culture of America and how you, Oprah, feel you have impacted it. Oprah, how did you get started with your career?
In 1978, I moved to Baltimore, where I hosted a hit television chat show, People Are Talking. Afterward, I was recruited by a Chicago TV station to host my own show. This show, The Oprah Winfrey Show, aired for 25 seasons, from 1986 to 2011. That same year, I launched my own TV network, The Oprah Winfrey Network!
Excellent. Now, Oprah, did you face any setbacks when it came to launching your career, or did you ever come face-to-face with failure?
I have faced many hardships during the length of my career, especially as a black woman in front of the media.
Of course. And finally, I have to ask, as an American media proprietor, talk show host, actress, and producer, how do you feel you have made a positive impact on modern culture of America?
I believe that I am giving true representation to the people like me, and finding a way to help others as much as I can. In 2005, Business Week named me the greatest black philanthropist in American history. Oprah's Angel Network has raised more than $50 million for charitable programs, including girls' education in South Africa and relief to the victims of Hurricane Katrina. I also campaigned for Democratic presidential hopeful Barack Obama in December 2007, attracting the largest crowds of the primary season to that point. The biggest event was at the University of South Carolina football stadium, where 29,000 supporters attended a rally that had been switched from an 18,000-seat basketball arena to satisfy public demand.
Excellent. Oprah, thank you so much for your time. Thank you for doing everything you can to aid others and make the world a better place. Thank you so much for being on the show. That's it for Entertainment Tonight, but tomorrow we have an amazing interview planned with pro golfer Tiger Woods. That's all. Thank you for tuning in. All right, and we're back for our exclusive interview with Tiger Woods. Thank you for being here today.
Thank you so much.
So Tiger, we have a couple questions for you, starting with, you won the Masters back in 2001, so really, what did this mean for your career?
Well, as of this win, I am the first African American to win the Masters, as well as the youngest at age 21. I now hold around 4 major championship titles.
Excellent. That's super exciting for you and your career. So now tell me, do you think golf is taken as seriously as other professional sports?
Well, I'd say it's not taken as seriously as a lot of other sports, but my paycheck begs to differ. Forbes listed me as the number 6 wealthiest athletes in the United States, behind Floyd Mayweather and LeBron James.
Wow, congratulations. Speaking of just your paycheck and your career now, let's go back. What was your childhood like?
Well, I don't remember my childhood exactly, but I remember I was raised to be a champion. Around 9 years old, I remember committing to becoming a professional golfer, and my father really wanted me to be one too.
Excellent. So speaking of your father, what was your home like and childhood like?
Well, my mom was from Thailand, and my father was a lieutenant, so things around the house weren't exactly the calmest. And my brother and sister as well were kind of part of this. But growing around in Orange County, California, I was really able to golf a lot and as many times as I could a day.
Excellent. That's definitely apparent in your successes today. But what we're really all dying to know is what happened between you and your ex-wife, Ellen Norton Green.
Well, that's very personal, but all I can really say without sparing much of the details is that it really ended up not as good as it should have happened. And that I really hope it does not affect my golf game.
All right. Thank you, Tiger. Thank you for tuning in to Entertainment Tonight. My name is Elise Pinsnow. This was Tiger Woods, and good night.
Oh,
And
Grandpa, I think I'm fine now. I think Mr. Gauklin is such a tricky man that I'm going to fail this test no matter what. He's going to probably put identifications and keywords and an essay and a DBQ and another essay and a citation. He's going to make us do 500 multiple choice. Like, how am I going to pass this? I think I'm just screwed no matter what.
Hilda! Oh my God!
We tried to make everything perfect, perfect just isn't it? You know what I think? We can agree that the friendship between you.
Oh, unplug it, Zachary. Unplug it.